Hello and welcome back to the AA NBA podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya.
And the NBA just got back from basically a week-long break. So we're not going to be doing any power rankings today. We're not going to be messing around with that. But
every team's played like 2 games, so it wouldn't even be worth
it's
it
not
anyway.
a big enough sample size for us to determine who's better than who. So instead, we're just going to go through some news, and then we're going to play a game at the end of the podcast, and it'll probably be like a half-hour episode, I would guess.
Yeah, it won't be too long.
All right, so first up, Caris LeVert is officially taking the court for the Indiana Pacers tonight.
Yes, sir.
This was a little surprising to me when I got the Woj notification yesterday. I figured he would be out for another, week or two. But
I thought it'd
nevertheless,
be out for a while because it's cancer.
Yeah, the cancer thing was not super encouraging. But he's back, and we're pretty hyped. What do you think his stat line is going to be tonight, if you had to guess?
Here's the thing. I'm going to guess he's not going to play well. And I'm going to say he's going to have maybe 11 points, 2 assists, and a rebound on inefficient shooting. Just because, it's his first game back in a while. He had to do all that treatment and stuff.
I am guessing, if I had to guess, because, as Pacers fans, we have seen more than our fair share of first game back after a long time being out. Like Paul George's first game back after breaking his leg, Danny Granger's first game back after tearing his ACL, Victor's first game back after tearing his quad. We've seen a lot of those. And I don't really remember Granger or Paul George, but I do remember when Vic came back last year, he played 20 minutes. He played a little bit in the fourth quarter. He was 1 of 7 from 3, but he hit the game-winning 3. So I'm gonna say Caris plays 15 or 20 minutes. I'm gonna say he gets 15 points on 6 of 15 from the field, probably pretty inefficient, and then I'll say 7 combined assists and rebounds, 3 and 4 or something.
Wow.
And then maybe a really nice steal or something.
Okay.
So yeah.
You think he's going to do a little better than I do?
Yeah, I do. I think that, I think he's 6 of 15 isn't exactly efficient. It's only 4 more points.
Yeah.
And then the assist thing is he just needs to pass it to Domas and he'll take it in.
That's all. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, so that's my Caris prediction. I'm guessing that by the end of the year he'll probably be getting starter minutes and playing a lot, but I'm guessing right now he'll probably, maybe he'll start and just get reduced minutes, or he'll come off the bench. I don't think it really matters to him. I'm just glad he's playing again.
Yeah. Next up, Mr. Blake Griffin has signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes. Buyout secured.
All this to beat a 36-year-old.
Oh, brother. Can we not do this every single fucking time? I saw this thing the other day, and it was it's Andre Drummond if he signs with the Lakers versus if he signs with the Nets. And, if he signs with the Lakers, it's it was Darko Milicic or something. And then if he signs with the Nets, he's he's Dikembe Mutombo or something. I forget what it was, but it was one of the best centers of all time, and then some trash can.
Yeah.
Just because LeBron fans won't ever acknowledge when he has good players, but they'll always acknowledge when the other team has good players.
Yeah,
so,
and again, Blake Griffin's not going to come out here and average 20 and be jumping over people. It's not.
Yeah, that's what's really bothering me about the whole NBA discourse. The day this happened, I was like, guys, Blake Griffin is not. If you didn't think that the Nets were going to win the championship, Blake Griffin should not be making the NBA unwatchable for you.
He's really not tipping the scale that much.
He's all right. He's going to be probably a decent bench piece, but he is not. He's not this isn't a fucking super team more than it was before. He's just it's like if the Lakers went out and they were who would be really nice, Jamal Crawford. Like they were just like, okay, let's get like a 6th or 7th man who could put up decent stats. Like Blake Griffin, I'm guessing he's gonna have like a couple games this year where he drops like 30, and everybody's like, oh man, here come the Nets.
Vintage
But,
Blake
like,
Griffin.
Yeah, exactly. But if the James Harden trade didn't make you already think that, I don't know where you were before this trade. Like Blake Griffin should not be the piece that's making the Nets completely unbeatable. At least this current iteration of Blake Griffin. Maybe he just didn't care because it was Detroit and he was a little hurt, but I don't know. I'm not imagining. I think my stat line prediction was like 12-6 with like 3 assists or something. And you and everybody else in our group chat, I mean, you, Colin, and Noah think he's going to be like even worse.
Yeah, I think he's going to average like 6 and 4. Just because like he's going to be
5. Come on.
I said 6 and 4. Colin said 8 and 5. Or maybe I said 8 and 6.
That's a little extreme.
I think I said 8 and 6 or 6 and 4. I don't remember. Either way, he's going to be like the 7th or 8th option on that team. So I don't see him, he's probably going to obviously play the post a little bit and then take corner threes, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So NBA fans, relax. I saw this post on Instagram and it was like, which big four was better, the Warriors or the Nets? And I was like, bro, come on.
I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Like, I mean, I would say the big 3 on the Nets is probably better because James Harden and KD are about equal to the Kevin Durant and Curry from those years. I mean, Curry's probably a little better, but I would say Kyrie is significantly better than Klay. Just in terms of all-around player, he's better. I think right now he's better than Klay was during those years. I think Kyrie is what puts that big 3 over the top.
In terms of player personnel, sure, but I like Steph and Klay fit was just too good.
Oh, yeah. If you're asking me which big 3 I'd rather have, that's also kind of tough because, like, it's really hard to outscore 3 of the best scorers in the league right now. But it's also
hard with the
to
Warriors too.
The best scorer and the 2 best shooters.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's tough, but both teams are very good.
Yeah.
It's
like a guaranteed championship either way. But Draymond is so much better than Blake that that's a stupid comparison.
Yeah. There's another thing too is just like I don't think people are as mad about this Nets team as like the Warriors or something like that. Like it's not like obviously there are still people that are like, this team's going to ruin the NBA, but it's like I think at this point it's like people kind of want to see Harden get his ring. People want to see like Kyrie sort of redeem himself. People want to see like maybe Steve Nash get a coaching ring, stuff like that. So I think people just don't hate this team as much either.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Kyrie went from like, and I think it was just media manipulation that, he was perceived as kind of a jackass in Boston. And then he went to Brooklyn and he's like one of my favorite players now. Like, I love Kyrie. I think he's a great dude. And, all of that stuff about how much money he donated to charity came out, and that made me like him a lot more.
Oh, yeah, he's always been a big charity guy.
Yeah, so I really like Kyrie Irving, and I liked Curry on those teams. Kevin Durant is whatever. Like, he's not as much of an asshole to the media this year, which is really what bothered me about him in Golden State. Like, he was just kind of a dick all the time. And then James Harden is like, he's fun. Like, nobody's watching James Harden being like, oh, God. Look at this dude, because he's facilitating more now. Like, I feel like
he's not taking top of the key corner or like top of the key double step backs 20 times a game.
Yeah, I feel like the foul drawing narrative has shifted more to Trey now. And can we just talk about this, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I don't understand what makes NBA fans so mad about Trae Young. Look, Trae Young is Kobe Bryant did it, Michael Jordan did it, LeBron James did it. James Harden did it most recently.
Well, Reggie
Miller did it.
People got mad at James Harden and LeBron for doing it too. And there's also the thing of like...
That's the thing, like... I know, I get it. Hunting for fouls is kind of annoying, but like... They're not changing the rules. There is no incentive not to do it. He gets that call every fucking time.
I think
so why would he not do it?
Is people... Maybe like LeBron and Harden are obviously like some of the best players in the league, so maybe people think like they've earned it, but Trae Young just is kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won any games. He's been an all-star once. It's not like he's some crazy top of the league guy. So seeing someone like him get it maybe is a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like that anger is always misdirected, because it's like, if you're an NBA player and there's an opportunity for you to get 2 points for your team, you are always taking it. Like,
yeah.
No matter how easy it is, like, you can't just go honor system in the NBA. You can't go honor system in any league. There's the most competitive people on the fucking planet, outside of politics. Like, people in professional sports are the most competitive people on the planet. There's a reason why they're professional athletes. So if you're complaining about athletes taking opportunities to win, put it on the league. It's the classic example of, like, don't hate the player, hate the game. The game is what is incentivizing the players to take these free throws. It's not like, I get it, it's annoying to watch, but can you blame Trae Young for doing it? No. Reggie Miller used to fucking kick his leg out when he was taking threes, and then they had to change the rule, and he didn't do that anymore. And he found other ways to score. Like, I don't get how it is any different now than it was then. It's the same sort of rule. It's the same sort of bullshit, annoying way to draw a foul, but, like, can you really get that mad at him for taking that opportunity? Like, I know that if I was a professional athlete, I would do everything in my power to score the basketball. I don't care how much Steve Nash, who, by the way, also drew bullshit, blatant, annoying fouls in his day. That was, like, part of his game. I don't know. That the sort of narrative that's surrounding it does not put enough, in my opinion, doesn't put enough. I think we need to put more accountability on the league, because the players are obviously going to take advantage of it.
Steve Nash never really averaged more than 4 free throws a game for his career.
No, he didn't, but Trae Young even talked about it. He was like, that's where I learned to draw fouls. Like, Steve Nash, he didn't do it a ton, but he was good at drawing fouls. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why the accountability has to be on Trae Young, who's like 22, and not on Adam Silver, who has all of the power to change those rules and de-incentivize it.
Wait, I think I looked at the wrong stat. Hold on. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds a little low. He was like, he had 4 50, 40, 90 seasons.
I looked at the right stat. He did his highest attempts per game season was 4.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my point still stands. Like, he did, a lot of the fouls that he drew were kind of bullshit shooting fouls. Like, so I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit, maybe I'm not putting enough accountability on the players, but I feel like if there's a rule that is able to be taken advantage of, it is your duty as a professional athlete to take advantage of that rule until you force them to change it.
No, that's fair. I think it's... I completely agree with you. It's not on the players for taking advantage of a broken system. Like,
yeah. I mean, hell, Kobe... I went back and listened to a couple early episodes of the podcast, mostly to make sure that we didn't, like, dox ourselves or anything. But, like, we were talking about this last year when all the James Harden free throw conversations were happening, and we went through and we were like, yeah, all of these people that average like 35 points per game in a season, and I do think that's Trae's ceiling. I think that Trae is that good where he could eventually in his career, maybe he has like a 35, 36 point per game season. But like all of those guys, they had to shoot 10 plus free throws to do it. And most of them had to shoot like, I think Michael Jordan shot 11. I think Kobe shot 12. I think we figured out that James Harden shot like either the second least or the least of them.
So, no, I remember this because I remember learning about it, and it was super crazy to me when I figured it out. But, so it goes in order. So, like, Kobe averaged 35, and in that season he took 10 a game. James Harden averaged 36, and in that season he took 11 a game. And then MJ averaged 37, and in that season he took 12 a game.
Yeah. So it's basically once you get past like 35 points per game, you have to take at least 10 free throws to do it.
Throws.
Yeah, it is impossible to do it without it. So I don't know.
I gotta check how many T-Mac had in his season where he averaged like 33 or whatever.
Actually, while you do that, I want to look up how many Brad Beal is taking right now, because he is leading the league in scoring, I believe, and he's averaging like 33 a game. He is shooting pretty efficient from 3, 38%. That's nice. 2020-21, he's only taking 8 a game. That is impressive. Career high for him is 8.3, which is this year.
T-Mac in the season, he averaged 32, took 10 a game.
Okay. So, yeah, Bradley Beal is kind of the outlier here, it seems like, but
8's, like, that's one less foul, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I forget. We were talking about losing, but speaking of losing, I was going to use it to segue, but then I kept ranting. Speaking of losing, the Houston Rockets have now lost 15 straight without Christian Wood. Is he in the MVP conversation?
Yes. He is valuable.
I agree. Yeah, Christian Wood is really good. He was well on his way to being an all-star. What is wrong? What is wrong with the Houston Rockets? Let's diagnose them.
All right, let's diagnose this. They brought out a G League team yesterday.
Yes.
So that's problem number one. They have their 2 best players, I guess 3 best players, all have injury problems because Victor Oladipo and John Wall have both missed a significant amount of games with like soreness or rest or injury stuff or whatever. They had to trade away one of the best players in the league for essentially nothing. And they have a rookie head coach.
Yeah, it's just, okay. I will say that nothing that they had to give up for Kevin Porter Jr., like, that's looking pretty fucking good right now, considering how good he was last night. He put up, like, and I get it, you know, he was getting all the shots. You might as well just give the young guy all the shots. But he's like, what, 22, 23?
Something like that, yeah. He's young.
He's super young.
He wasn't he wasn't dropped because of his inability to play basketball. He was dropped
because of clashes with management. He's 20. He is 20 years old. They put him in the G League for a couple games. He was so good in the G League. And, you know, it seems like my main thing was, like, I was hoping he would figure out his mental health issues, and it seems like he has, and he's balling, so I'm happy for him.
He was never bad. I mean, he was solid last season, too. It's just...
Yeah, he was all right.
Again, off-the-court problems there.
He's looking to be the next, like, Rockets. Like, you know how over the last 20 years the Rockets have, like... They don't draft really well, but they'll get, like, a guy in free agent. Like, they got McGrady in that one, I think, like, 2004 free agency. They got Harden in that trade from OKC in 2012, and now they got Porter Jr. Seems like kind of the next guy. I mean,
don't think
that's
he's
probably
going to be as good as T-Mac or James Harden.
Probably not, but he's looking to be, like, maybe that next sort of... Maybe he just ends up being, like, a nice scorer for them, and then... But that's the thing with the Rockets is that they're going to be so bad these next couple of years, and they don't really have the rights to any of the picks they get. Like, if they get the first overall pick this year, which it looks like they're well on their way to being in that conversation, the Oklahoma City Thunder can pick swap with them.
Yeah.
So they'll go from like first overall to like 6th overall, which fucking sucks. That sucks.
Well, yeah, I think how the Rockets are playing right now just shows how insane James Harden is.
Yeah, and how James Harden is playing. Like, James Harden, people have been talking about this a lot, but James Harden completely changed his game. He went from a pure scorer to, like, arguably the best facilitator in the league.
I don't think he changed his game.
Like,
he was always a good facilitator. Like, even
no, he changed the way that he played, though. Like, he's passing so much more.
Well, even before, like, the last few years in Houston just kind of turned into Harden ISOing and scoring, but, like, back when they had the team where they had, like, Patrick Beverley and Montrez and all those guys, he was a good playmaker for them, too. Like,
yeah,
in the earlier years in Houston. But, yeah. The Rockets are bad. Christian Wood's coming back. I mean, he's not going to come in and instantly help them win games. They're probably going to win, like, a few more. But, like, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be nearly as bad as they are now, I would guess. I mean, I would guess that getting John Wall, Victor Oladipo, and Christian Wood back is going to help them out a lot.
Well, they had John Wall and Victor Oladipo for most of the other games. They just lost them because they're bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, other than that, what else happened this week? The All-Star game happened, but neither of us
Nobody
really
cared about
cared.
that.
But yeah, it was super lame.
Cassius Stanley got kind of fucked, but I don't even think Cassius Stanley cares about that much.
Yeah, no, it was a boring day.
Shocker, the greatest shooter to ever step foot on the basketball court won the three-point contest. Who could
He
have
won
possibly
it in the best way possible. He won it on a last
shot was going in.
Yeah,
he was.
Dude,
I think his goal was to get it as close as possible and just crush it on that last shot because that was
honestly,
just
bro,
it didn't even touch the net.
Props to Mike Conley, man. He showed up.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Mike Conley.
Hell
We
yeah,
love
Mike.
Conley.
Everyone loves Mike. He's like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, he's so cool, dude. All right,
Yeah.
what do we got next? We were talking about this. Hold on. We were talking about this in the party, but do you remember when Mike Conley for like a year was like the highest paid player in the NBA?
Yeah, he was like,
or he got like the biggest
at, like,
contract
31 or something.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I mean, like, good for him, but I don't understand why the Grizzlies did that.
Because it was 2016.
Oh, was it 2016? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he was like the
was
only
more
person who. He was the only person who actually deserved their contract. I don't know that for sure, but I think he was like the only person that I can think of that wasn't completely shit.
Yeah.
When they got the contract. Oh no, he was never the highest paid player. He got the highest contract, but it was that next season it was LeBron, and then it's been Steph for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be Steph next year, John Wall in 2023, and then Dame Giannis for the next couple years after that. Giannis is making $51 million in 2026.
Yeah.
Good Christ, dude.
Good for him.
All right, sorry. That was just a quick little thing I wanted to say.
The only other really piece of news we have is that Joel Embiid's out for like 3 weeks with a bone bruise. People thought it was like he tore something or strained something. It looked a lot worse, but luckily it was just a bone bruise.
Yeah, I woke up and I checked my phone, and I was still, a little bit disoriented from just waking up, but I kept seeing like Woj tweets, and it would just be like ACL, meniscus, and then like broken kneecap, and I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, and then and then the end of the tweet was like, are all things Joel Embiid could have had but avoided. And I was like, fuck you.
Bro, it would have like that's that Jeremy Lamb injury where he just broke everything in his leg.
Oh my god.
That
The fact that he is
brutal.
playing, he didn't even take like a year. Or maybe he took like exactly a year. He took like
No, he
not
took
that much time to come back
like
from that.
yeah. And he's playing the same.
Yeah, he's still great. Like he's still a really good scoring option, 6th man for the Pacers.
It's for you, Jeremy Lamb.
Hell yeah, Jeremy Lamb. I love that dude. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, it's game time. So,
Yep.
in honor of the All-Star game, we were going to do this last week, but we had a lot of stuff to cover, so we didn't end up doing it. But
We only had 20 minutes of material this week.
yeah, so we have more than enough time. But basically, I got 10 NBA players here, and I'm going to list them off, and then Aiden has to guess how many times they've been an All-Star. And I'll give
I'm excited for this.
I'll get like a little leeway, so like if you're like one off or whatever, not a big deal. But
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna start off with some easy ones though. How many times has LeBron James been an All-Star?
17.
That is correct. How many times has Michael Jordan been an All-Star?
13, I want to say.
Do you want to say? Is that your final answer?
So he was the best player in the league from like 1980, I'll say like 1987 to 1998, but he took 2 years off. So that's like, but I think he made an All-Star game in, I think he, okay. So I know he definitely made him those years. I think he broke his foot in 80. Did he break his foot in 86 or 87? Do you know? Either way, that's 1 year where he wouldn't have made it. I'm pretty sure he made it his rookie year, so that's 1. And then 2, 3, 4, and then 7 times throughout the 90s, so that's 11. And then I think he made them both years in. I know he made it at least 1 year with the Wizards, and I think he made it both years. So I'm gonna say 13 for Michael Jordan.
The correct answer is 14.
Damn it.
So pretty close, but I mean, it went off there.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to pull up the exact years they made it. I don't have that in front of me, but
yeah, I do want to see that because I feel like he broke his foot his second year.
I will also pull it up.
Oh, you know what? I messed up because I thought 85, but it would have been 84 probably is the first because he got drafted in 84, so we would have made the 85, 80. Okay. He was an all-star.
He made the all-star game the season he played 18 games, by the way.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So
Yeah,
85 to 93, 96 to 98, and then 2002 and 2003. Okay, so he made it like every season he played.
Yeah, except for
that's wild.
the season he came back from the minors, but
yeah,
that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Next up, how many times did James Worthy make the all-star game?
Is he in the Hall of Fame? I always want to say
he is in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so that means that he had to have made like at least 4, because that's
Very
like the
high
barrier
bar.
for getting in. Yeah, high bar. He played on the Showtime Lakers. I feel like they had a couple years where they had like 4 All-Stars. Like it was him, Magic, Kareem, and like Kurt Rambis or Byron Scott each made 1. I think I'm gonna say 8 because I think he was there from the mid 80s to the mid 90s really, and I think he was the best player after Magic left for a couple years. So I'm gonna say 8.
The correct answer is 7. You were 1 off again.
Damn.
It's okay. He made it. So he was on the Lakers from the 82-83 season to the 93-94 season, and he made it from the 85-86 season through the 91-92 season. Those were his all-star years.
Okay, that's right. Because he came out. I always miss that one up because he got, or not that one up, but I always missed that he came out because he and Michael Jordan both played at North Carolina, and I always thought that they came out the same year. But yeah, James might have came out a year later, but James went out a year before.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How many times has Rudy Gay been an all-star?
Never. One of the best to never make an all-star game, though.
That is correct. He should have. I mean, those Memphis years, I feel like he should have made at least 1. You know?
Well, either like I know that because he and Conley played on the same team for so many years, and they're like the 2 guys that I associate with being like the best players to never make it.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
I'm sure there are plenty more examples from like the 90s, but not really guys that I think of.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is it should be an easy one for you. We've talked about this multiple times before. How many times has Reggie Miller made the All-Star game?
5. He made
That is
5, but
correct.
if he didn't play at the same time as Michael Jordan and Joe Dumars and guys like that, he would have made 10.
Yeah. How many times?
Sounded like your dad that watches the Pacers.
My dad doesn't watch the Pacers a lot.
No, but like my dad doesn't really talk like that. But like the dad that like, dad that like just is
the back in
like,
my day.
oh man, Reggie Miller was so good. If he didn't play at the same time as all of these guys that were better than him, he would have made so many more All-Star games.
All right. How many times was Dwight Howard an All-Star?
8.
That is correct.
Because I think he was an All-Star like every year from 2004 to 2011 or 2005 to 2012. Because I know he made
2006
like 8
to
straight,
2013. Oh, 06, 07 to 13, 14.
right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he made it his last 6 years in Orlando, once in Los Angeles, once in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does. I knew he made it like 8 straight years, but I couldn't remember if he made it his rookie year or not.
Yeah. He didn't make it his first 2 years, actually.
Yeah.
All right. How many times has Chris Kaman been an All-Star? The Caveman.
Once.
Yes, that is correct.
2009, I think, right?
Yeah, the 9-10 season.
Yeah.
He averaged 19 and 9. Pretty good.
Yeah, he was
numbers.
good that year. He was like the Clippers, one of their best players. Was Baron Davis? Was he still a Clipper that year? I always forget that.
I don't. I think by this point he was on the Warriors, but let me check.
Well,
He
did he
was
go
on
to the
this team.
Warriors before or after the Clippers?
He was on
went to
this
the,
team.
I think it was.
So
Okay, yeah. Was that the year that they tanked for Blake, or the year that Blake hurt his? Did he break his foot or something, and he missed his whole rookie year?
So this was the 09 to 10 season. Blake Griffin was the 09 draft, right?
That's what I always. That's what I usually think, because that was the same. Because he was the first pick, and then like James Harden and Clay were like a couple of the other ones from that year.
I mean, I gotta
James
look
was
this
like
up
third
now, I'm
overall, and
curious.
Clay was ninth.
Yeah. So Blake Griffin was the 2009 draft. So yeah, he just didn't play that season.
Okay, yeah, they were bad that year. That's what I
I
think they were bad, and they didn't have their pick, and so
They
now I gotta figure this
they
out.
finished 29 and 53, so not good.
Oh yeah, that was the year that Baron Davis had a clause in his contract where if they won 30 games and he played the majority of them, he got like an extra bonus, and they won 29 games.
Oh, rip Baron Davis, man.
All right.
right.
Oh no, the Clippers had like the 8th pick. They just got fucked in the draft that year. That sucks.
And the 10-11 season.
Yeah, in 2010 they had the 8th overall pick. So they didn't trade it.
Who did they
They
draft?
picked
with that
Al
one?
Farouk Amino.
Oh man.
They could have. The next picks were Gordon Hayward, Paul George, and
Man.
after that, the next best one is Eric Bledsoe at like 18.
Didn't Alfred
So-
only play like a season for them? And then they got rid of him.
I think he played. Yeah, he played just 2010, 2011.
Oh man.
And then he went to the Hornets and Mavericks and Blazers, and now he's a Magic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rip the Clippers. Yeesh, indeed. That is not a good history.
They could have had
All right.
Paul George 10 years early.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up. How many times has Richard Jefferson been an All-Star?
Ooh. I know he was one at least once, and I'm going to say once. I think it might. There's a chance it's twice, but it's not more than that. I'm going to say once.
Are you locking in that answer?
I am locking in Richard Jefferson one-time All-Star, but I'm not going to be surprised if it's 2.
The correct answer is 0.
Oh, really?
He has never been
I
an
could have
All-Star.
sworn he made one with the Nets.
Nope.
Did he?
Never.
Damn.
There's a season where he averaged
he had
like
one-
22, 6,
Yeah,
and 7, or
That's
22,
what
7,
it
and
was.
4.
He had
but
a,
he
he had a
didn't make the
really good
All-Star game.
statistical season with the Nets.
Yeah. But yeah, never been an All-Star. Deserved at least one, maybe 2, but was never an All-Star.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up, how many times has Bill Laimbeer been an All-Star?
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He is
I don't
not.
think he is. I'm going to say Bill Laimbeer made 3 All-Star games. I think he made 3. Like 87 to 89 or something.
He made 4.
Oh, damn. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He made the 82, 83, 83, 84, 84, 85, then the 86, 87.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a 4-time All-Star. He was the rebounding champ 1 year and a 2-time NBA champion. That's a Hall of Fame resume right
Yeah,
there.
he's a Hall of Famer. 4-time All-Star alone. That's
That's
gonna be
Sometimes you don't even have to be a 4-time All-Star. You'll still
that's
get
a
in.
Hall of Fame resume right there.
Mhm.
Should be in.
He should be. All right. The last player we have. How many times has Rajon Rondo been an All-Star?
4.
Damn, I was really hoping for a
3.
more climactic ending there.
Yeah. I think he made all 4 of them in Boston, too.
Yeah, he did.
Because
Can
he
you
was
tell me
bad that one year.
what
He was in Dallas.
years?
Yeah, I think 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. I think it was 4 in rapid succession.
You were one off. It was 9, 10, 11, 12.
Damn.
Yeah. A lot of one-offs for you this game.
Yeah. That's how it is sometimes.
That's how it is sometimes. Anyway, that's all the players I had. I probably could have put more. I didn't think it would go that fast, but oh well. We got to we got a 35-minute episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, that's all we got. Is if the All-Star game was a little more entertaining, we might have had more stuff to talk about, but it was trash. So that's all we got for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to. We got our personal channels in the description. Our Twitter is in the description. Aiden's article, some other stuff. Yeah. And yeah. Thanks for watching.
Bye.